everyone and welcome to a new video. Today I am filming my May TBR, which is very exciting because obviously May is Asian Readathon, which means that most of May I'm trying to only read Asian books with exceptions because life is an exception for life, you know? And this month I obviously played my TBR game, which is obviously Tumbling Pandas. I dropped pandas into this and then we pull out these bamboos and then every panda is a prompt, and every month I'm like, is this the month I'm not gonna play the game because I have so much other stuff to do? But I thought that I would play the most careful round yet of Tumbling Pandas so that we would just have a chill, like not that many pandas falling. Did this go to plan? I don't know. I guess you have to see this video to find out. I'm also obviously doing the prompts for Asian Readathon as well. I will show you like what fits for what later, and then other plans on the top of that, obviously. So without further ado, let's go into our first roll for Tumbling Pandas May 2024. Let the pandas tumble. Okay. Roll number 1. Tree. One. Two. 3. 0 pandas falling. For our first roll, we had 3 pulls and 0 pandas fell, so we can go right into our second roll. Roll number 2. 1. 1. 0 pandas falling. And for a second roll, we had 1 pull and 0 pandas fell, so we can go into our third roll. Roll number 3. 2. Oh no! Oh no! A panda fell. One. 2. And 1 panda fell. 13. Bad luck. For our third roll, we had 2 pulls and 1 panda fell, and that panda was Rebecca, which is to read a book by an Asian author, which obviously, what better amount to fit in this prompt, you know? And for this prompt, I have picked out The Sword of Kaigen by Amel Wang. This one I put in another month for this prompt, but I didn't get to it and I read something else for it instead. Because I'm starting to be nicer to myself, I am able to switch out the books if I don't feel like reading that book anymore. But this one is the Patreon buddy read for May. We are doing it in Discord where there's 31 chapters. We're reading 1 chapter a day. You should join us. And then we will have like discussions or like a bit of thoughts every day, I assume. At least that's what I'm going to try to do. And then obviously I have been super excited for this for like a year and a day and more. I'm excited to actually get to it now, but I think I said that when I put it on my other TBR and I actually didn't read it in that month. I think that was March. So I'm actually excited to get to it in May and for sure we'll read it. And obviously I am starting on the 1st of May and you can join us or whatever, but yeah, excited and we'll actually read it this time. Then we're going into our 4th roll. Roll number 4. 4. No! 1. 2, 3, 4. We had 3 panels falling, which is rude. It's rude. For fourth roll, we got 4 pulls and 3 pandas dropped. First one was Oleander, which is to read a book that is naked, which means basically a hardcover that doesn't have a dust jacket. And I said that if I get this prompt again, I will pick up All This Was a Glory by Tara Mafi, because I read this for the last time I got this prompt. I read the book before. I think that was like literally last month, the second book, and it was such a ride, and I was like, well, then I might as well just read the third one if I get that prompt. This is naked because I have the Lumicore exclusive, and I really enjoyed 1 and 2, so I'm excited to see if I will enjoy 3 as much, and excited that I can pick it up at once and actually be caught up with the series. What is that? Then we got Violent, who is adopted by my patient Afag, and that is to read a purple book. So I picked out I Want to Die, But I Want to Eat Tatoboki by Bak Sehi. This is, I know it's not like purple because it's like yellow and purple, but like it is purple, like the main text, I guess. But there's different editions of this, and this is the edition with purple on it. So I'm counting it as a purple one, and it's like a think like conversation, as I said, with a character and the psychiatrist. I think she's very depressed. It's a very short read, like less than 200 pages. And I really want to read it since I got it, so I'm putting it in here because I need short reads this month, okay? Then I got Jess, which is to read a thirsty book, aka a book with smut in it. And then I've just picked up Twisted Games by Anna Huang, because it is the book on my TBR by an Asian author that I know has some smut in it. I don't know if they're like super smutty, because the first one wasn't like overly smutty. It was like 1-2 sex scenes, but I still count it. So this is the second book in the series, even though obviously they are about different couples. They are super stupid. Even though I only read the first one, but that was super stupid, but it was very entertaining. And I think a fast, weird, stupid read for the month would be good for me, because this month is gonna be, it's not gonna be good for me. Then we are going to our 5th and final roll. Everything has been going very well. Roll number 5. 6. 6. Okay. Oh no! Another panda fell! No! Okay. 1. 2. 3. Oh my! Oh no! It's because I need to be on this side. Pull out. I want this one. It just, I couldn't get a hold of it. Oh my god. 4. 5. This was a choice! This was a choice! 6. Seriously? It's so cute. Seriously? Oh my god! Seriously? Oh. Seriously? 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 That is 10 pandas in one roll. I had to count them twice. Goodbye. After having the calmest, best game I ever played, if I want to know pandas, 10 pandas dropped. I don't think I had 10 pandas dropping in a single roll ever. Granted, altogether it's only 14 books, but I was looking at like a 5-6 books TBR because I don't have time in May. I don't know why this happened to me, but it did, and I am upset about it. The first prompt was Iris, which is to spin this wheel, and then I need to find a color on the wheel that like is on my TBR. And obviously I'm going for Asian books, so it needs to be by an Asian author as well. Let's spin the wheel. Oh, it ended up on blue. Shit. This is always the worst because I'm not prepared. Obviously, I haven't prepared the book. So now I need to think, and it takes ages every time. A blue book by an Asian author on my TBR. A blue book by an Asian author on my TBR. A blue book by an Asian author on my TBR. And like my eyes are zooming into one book. I'm gonna go and check it out. It's not even blue! No! I found something else than the one I thought about at first. So I want to read Record of a Night Too Brief by Hiromi Kawakami. This is the same author as Strange Weather in Tokyo. And it is, as you can see, blue. Like, it has a blue sticker, it has blue font. All of this is blue. Even like in these mushrooms, there is blue and then like obviously some pink. But I nailed it, I think. So I'm gonna read that, and it's short. How long is it? It's less than 200 pages. Amazing. Perfect. Exactly what I need. It's a bit ironic because the next book I picked out is super blue. But I already picked that out. Because the next prompt was to read a TBR veteran. And obviously I have a lot of old books on my TBR, but I wanted to pick an Asian book. And then like I tried to find out what is my oldest book by an Asian author on my TBR, and I don't know. It was really difficult. It didn't work out, but I did spot, of Curses and Kisses by Zendaya Menon. I had it for many years, but not like super long, because I checked the published date and I thought it was 2018, but it's actually 2020, so I only had it for 4 years. But I still think that's a long time to have a book and not start it. So I'm gonna read it. Irony is that it is blue, but like, obviously I couldn't have read the same book with 2 prompts anyway. I'm counting it, even though only 4 years, but still that's like a decent amount of time. It would have been different if it was like last year. Intended for read it for a really long time, I just never got to it. This is like a Beauty and the Beast retelling, but they are like at the academy, I think. And everyone says it's really bad. I only heard bad reviews. So now I feel like I will be pleasantly surprised and really enjoy it. Then we have Linguini. That was a translated book. So for that, I picked out Before We Say Goodbye by Toshikazu Kawaguchi. This is also a short book following set in this cafe where you can travel in time. And this is the last one so far out in the series. I have no idea if it's coming more, but then I caught up. And then it's a short, really fast read. Then I got Levi, which is to read a manga. And for that, I need to read the next Full Metal Alchemist anyway, which is 13, 14, and 15. I actually in theory need to read the next one as well as 2 One Pieces. And obviously I will read other manga throughout the month anyway, so I will complete this prompt even if I wouldn't get to this either way. But I'm just putting this here like a placeholder for now, because I should get to this. But May is gonna murder me, so we shall see. Then we got Shangli, which is to read a final book. So I have World's End by Rincha Peckel. I'm reading through this whole series this month, and I am pretty sure it is a trilogy. And this is the final book in the trilogy that came out in January. So I thought, let's read the whole thing in May. I will be done and dusted with the series. It's gonna be a great time. I'm currently reading the first book on audio. I'm gonna audio the whole series. So let's get it officially on my TBR. That is double score points for myself for less reading of stuff, because May. Then we got Read, which is to read a classic or non-fiction book. So for this, I have Beautiful Country by Xian Julie Wang. I think I mentioned this in another like TBR video, and then I didn't end up reading this. I ended up reading something else. So I'm going to read it actually for this month. It is May. It is perfect. It is about Xian's, I think, like memoir of moving to America and how it was to grow up there. I'm pretty sure I'm going to audiobook this as well, because I'm pretty sure I will have time for all of the Rincha Peckel and then this at least. And it's not a long book, so the audiobook shouldn't be long. So I'm actually going to read this month. And perfect for Asian Readathon. Then I got Cecilia, which is to read a book with a geometric shape on it. So I decided to pick out Human Acts by Han Kang. This one, because I'm counting these bullets as like a geometrical shape. Right? Yes, we are doing it. And I don't know anything about the story. I read The Vegetarian. I really enjoyed it. It's super weird, but it's like the kind of weird I really like. So I assume I will really like this one as well. And I just got it together with like, I bought 3 books together in a day. And if I read this now, I will have read them all. Like 1 month each. And I feel like that's incredible because that day I was like, I just really wanted 3 books. Will I read them? I don't know. And I read now, this is the last one I read in like that day. So it makes me happy that I managed to like read them all, one of them in 1 month each. I don't know. I have this wish where I want to read all of my TBR so I could do that all the time. Will it happen? Pray for me. Then we got Plum, who was adopted by my Patreon, Tina. They had given me the prompt to reread a book that I read previously for a book club. And I was like, this is such a hard prompt because I rarely want to reread something unless I really, really loved it or something. But then the other day, when I filmed my Asian recommendations video, I did obviously talk and show off the book Eaters by New Dean. And I was like, wow, I kind of want to reread that. I feel like I didn't even read it that long ago, but I kind of want to reread it. And then it's really short. It is like less than 300 pages. And I read it for Facing Gaze and I was like, fine. To complete this prompt, I would do it. It is also by an Asian author, so I am following my my guts here. I was gonna say my theme, and I might audiobook. However, this is a big however. Now I have a lot of audiobooks, but hopefully it will be fine. Then we got Seek, which is to read a sequel, and I have to read A Little Hatred by Joe Abercrombie, which is the first one in the Age of Madness trilogy, which is the last trilogy in the First Law world. I am now a part of First Law Along, hosted by Becca. And I think the live show is the 13th, 14th of May. I'm not 100% sure right now. That's a tentative date at least. So I need to read that before that anyway. And it is a sequel because it's a sequel within the world. So I need to read it by then. So I am going to do it. So I put it on my TBR again. Make life easier for yourself. So now the last prompt we got is Jessie, which is to play Jessie's TBR game from Jessie on YouTube. So I have the TBR game here that I bought in their Etsy shop. And this is really hard because some of these prompts I don't know I can fulfill with Asian books that I already own. So let's see. I will pick out this one, which I can't even see what it says. Can you see? It's not even focusing. Oh, it's focusing, but I can't read it. Literary fiction or non-fiction by deceased by POC author. A deceased one. Literary fiction by a deceased author. Sorry, the deceased part put me off. I don't even know. Do I have anything by a deceased author on my TBR? Oh, but it's not Asian though. I have this one I really, really want to read. Do I need like a long thinking break now? I'm looking over at my books. Because I don't think I have anything that I own by an author of color that they are died. I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and check every single book if they're died. Ooh, where's my phone? Do anyone have a good recommendation for this? Like, obviously there are loads of Asian authors in the world that has died. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that I don't know what on my TBR that is by an author that has died. So we talked about this on my Patreon the other day. I kind of do want to read Dawn by Octavia Butler. And this one is the first one in the Lilith's Brood trilogy. This is a potential for our next series read along in my Patreon, but the poll just went out, so I don't know if it's winning. Then we would start it in June, but I could still read it in May to complete my prompts, and like the club can still start in June. Like, it's fine. I might put in this because it's the only book and author I can remember in this second that I really want to read, like, currently. But please comment recommendations down below and I can check them out so that if there's anything else that I'm not potentially reading for a read-along I could read, then I would appreciate it. I don't even know what's on my shelves that I have. Like, obviously I have some classics, but I think they're all about, like, white old dudes. Boring. So I don't know. It's a great prompt. It makes you think. But I don't know. But I am putting in that for now, and I might get to it If not, I might change it out. So that was all my prompts for my TBR game. And now we're going through the Asian Readathon prompts. For the Asian Readathon prompts, a twist is that every book you read should be by an author that has different Asian ethnicities. Obviously, in my like normal prompts and outside that, I have picked out authors with the same ethnicities, as you might already tell. But for these 5 prompts, I always make the 5 different. So the first prompt is, as always, to just read a book by any Asian author. And for that, I once again just put in sort of Kaigen, because I need to read it anyway. I feel like this is my main event throughout the month. And the author here is Chinese. Then for the next prompt, it is to read a book that feels timeless. And I thought that nothing else could fit better than Again Before We Say Goodbye. Because this one, they literally travel in time. So then it therefore feels timeless. And I thought that nothing else could fit better. And then again, obviously the author is Japanese. And the next prompt is to read a book that is underrated. So for this, I picked out An Unreliable Magic by Winter Pecco. This is the second book in the 100 Names of Magic series, which again, I mentioned that I'm going to read the whole series of. And I do think that this series is very underrated. The first book do have like a bit of rating as Goodreads, but I think the second one like barely graces 1,000, and the last one has like literally like 100 ratings. I literally don't know. Like it's very underrated. I feel like a lot of people forgot about the series because I do feel like the first book came out like 4 years ago. Even though that's not even that long. We have so short memories. I was gonna check the ratings. 100 names, not BAMEs, names. So the first book has 3,000 ratings. This second book has 339. That's not a lot. And then the last book that just came out had 76 ratings. So overall, I do think this series is very underrated. And I am so far enjoying it. It is very like silly, and it's mixing like many different fairy tales and like many different things from many different like mythology and stuff. And it's very interesting of how this is done. But yeah, so I thought that it fit good for the challenge. And the author is Filipino. I'm so confused because the next prompt was called something else than I thought. So why did I pick this book? It doesn't make any sense to me. So the next book is a debut by an author. And I put in something that is definitely not at all a debut. What was I thinking? I don't know. But I really want to read this one. Like I put in The Breakup List by Abek Koram. This is not the debut by author. I have no idea why I put it in there. I don't know what I was thinking. But I really wanted to read this for this prompt. This is purple, so I could put it in for the purple prompt instead. I might switch it around because I was full intending to read this in May. Like, it's one of my most anticipated releases. And now I feel stupid because now I need to find something else. Help me. I don't know. The ones I am like the kind of person who has... Ooh! I had a good one. But I know it has the same ethnicity as one of the other authors I chose. Then I need to switch out that one. Okay, wait. I fixed it in my head. Okay. I fixed it. So what I'm going to do then is that I'm going to take away sort of Kaigen for any Asian author, any Asian book. I'm putting in The Breakup List by Big Koran. The author here is Iranian. So that then we don't have Chinese for that prompt. And then I can read for debut, I can read To Gaze Upon the Wicked Gods by Molly X. Chang, who is Chinese. So then I fixed it. It's all good. And obviously I'm still reading sort of Kaigen. It still is in the prompt either way in my TBR game. I literally just needed to add another book on my TBR, which is not great. But I really want to read this. I just got my Illumicrate and it's on my most anticipated as well. So yeah, okay, so I'm doing that, and it is debut by the author. Oh, reading again. Okay, I just panicked. I thought I messed up. It's all good. And then the last Asian Readathon prompt is to read a book that the vibes you want in your next life. I didn't entirely understand the prompt. But the book I put in is, again, of course, it's in Kisses, because sure, in my next life, I can go to an academy and have like sort of a Will the Princess Save the Beast kind of stuff in my life, because I always wanted to be Belle anyway, even though she does suffer from the Stockholm Syndrome, but I always wanted to be her anyway. So I thought, sure, I will count this for this prompt, and the author there is Indian, so we have it all covered for the prompts. So what we have, last but not least, is the Gum Machine, which is my house there on Patreon put in prompts. Oh, not prompts. My house there on Patreon put in books in the Gum Machine, and then I read that book. They can pick whatever they want. I'm getting a new Gum Machine because this one is dying, and then they got new ones at work and they were much cuter. So yeah, I have only one note left because I went through all the others and I already know what it is, but I still thought for the effect of me picking out something, I would still do the Gum Machine. Can you just come out? I already know what you're saying, but I need it for the effect of the video. Just stop being so stubborn. I ruined the gum machine, so I need a new gum machine, and I still don't have balls. It's like no. Oh! I got it. Okay. So gum machine is gonna tell me. Nice handwriting. It's gonna tell me Erica, but it doesn't really matter. Erica's pick was a random pick one day, and it is The Ghost Talkers by Mary Robinette Kowal. Obviously not an Asian author, but a book that I own on my TBR for a really long time. I think I bought it because Brandon Sanderson wrote a review on it or said he recommended it like a billion years ago. And then I was like, oh, if Brandon Sanderson said it was good, then I'm getting it. And I'm like, well, why? But either way, I had it for years. When was this released? I really need to check. Was it 2017? 2016. That's a long time ago. I heard good things, but I also heard it's a bit confusing. I think it's like an army and they can talk to like the people who die in the army in the battle and then they communicate with them or something. I honestly don't even know. But I'm finally going to read it. It's been on my TBR for ages. It is also a standalone, so we love to see that. Last but not least, I also need to read a buzzword, and the buzzword for May is every. So everything, everybody, etc. I had one book on my TBR that fit for this, and in theory, I could find something else. I could buy something, but we are not doing that. We are reading what we own. So I need to read this book, and it's not by an Asian author, but we will survive. It is The Unexpected Everything by Morgan Matson, which is like a YA contemporary, and Morgan Matson has written other YA contemporaries. I read one and I sobbed like a child. So I really wonder if I will have the same effect. I have this soft spot for some contemporaries, but some also might be annoying. But it has dogs. It has dogs. It's a dog. I don't know. But there's every in the title. That's the only important thing. And I will read something on my TBR and we love to see it. And then, did I already say last but not least? But again, last but not least, I also do need to read System Collapse by Martha Wells, because it is the final book so far in the Murderbot Diaries, which we read on my Patreon. So our Murderbot Diaries read along is over now in May. As I said earlier, we're starting a new one in June, and you need to read this for them. It is a bit thicker than the others, but still a little tiny book, and I will get to it in May somewhere. And that is all the books on my TBR. It is a bit more than it should be, and I am a bit panicky about May because I need to deliver my papers, and let's just say I have not done a lot of progress on them. And they are supposed to be really long, and I only have like 2 weeks in May to do one of them, and I want to scream. But that's why I know I'm not going to have as much time to read, because I'm going to use a lot of days to stare into the void and pretend I'm doing my paper. So then I freeze up, I can't edit videos, I can't read, and those days are gonna screw me over so badly that in the end of May I'm going to be in panic to read on all of these books. We love to see it. I would love to read more. I have a couple of books that I have taken from the library that are expiring in May, so I really need to read those as well, including all of these, and I also would like to do vlogs, etc. So wish me good luck for the upcoming month. I severely need it because April was a lot. I do think May is going to murder me. It is also my birthday month, so I do hope to have one nice day in May. If not, we shall see if I survive in June. But yeah, I'm going to post more videos in May. It sounded like I'm just going to disappear until June, but I'm going to be less present because I'm dying backstage. But yeah, thank you so much for watching this. I'm very excited for Asian Readathon, and like if I get to all of this, if I get to all my library books, I will try to do like, I generally just pick out then more Asian books on my TBR, and then I need a refill throughout the year for the next May, because obviously you can only read the books by Asian authors 1 month a year, obviously. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a rice bowl down below if you enjoyed this, and you should see me soon. Bye!